Magic Domain Odyssey is a game that changes reality. The line between humans and demons is slowly blurring. For an unknown reason, 500 years ago, the online fantasy game Magic Domain Odyssey began to merge with reality. A multitude of demons from the underworld invaded the MIO humans, forcing them to retreat under the onslaught of demons. However, a miracle of the God of Light descended upon the earth, and those he blessed gained access to the game panels, becoming professionals that could use the game skills in battle. Generations of heroes disappeared, but a new immortal demon king, Asmodeus, appeared. As the territory and resources of the humans dwindled under the onslaught of demons, the most powerful and mysterious guild, the Dawn Pioneers, put everything on the line in the fight. To defeat the demon king, the humans dispatched the strongest assassin, Mo Bei. Mo Bei has finally arrived at the demon king and will no longer hide in the shadows. Asmodeus is surprised that the timid little rat dares to face him. He continues to mock the guy because he thinks that a guy without protection will die a miserable death. Mo Bei doesn't care because everyone will die eventually, but the Demon King will die first. Mo Bei activates the Shining Moon Area ability. Shining Moon Area changes the time of day, flooding the area with moonlight and giving a powerful boost. Asmodeus laughs at the hero's ridiculous words. Asmodeus, is he going to die? After all, no one could even get close to him before, and now some hero is saying such ridiculous words. The Demon King uses his deadly attack, which flies towards Mo Bei. The guy easily dodges Asmodeus's released attack, thinking that the Demon King doesn't take him seriously. Mo Bei then uses a shadow clone. Judging from past battles, Asmodeus would be able to quickly block Mo Bei after using the guy's cloning skill. Several clones were about to attack Asmodeus. After all, the arrogant Demon King has a huge flaw. He doesn't believe that anyone can resist his frontal attack. Asmodeus is amused by all the little tricks Mo Bei employs, but the guy isn't so simple and has concluded that the Demon King's weak spot is his back. Using the clones as a distraction, Mo Bei jumped behind Asmodeus's back, even though it was a small trick. But if it made him let his guard down, then it would be enough for Mo Bei. And without thinking for long, he lightning fast stabs him in the back, using Divine Retribution. Divine Retribution is a powerful attack, with a 1% chance of completely destroying the enemy. However, in spite of this, Asmodeus continues to laugh. It turns out that Mo Bei still hasn't gotten his chance. The Demon King commands that the blood demons rise up and fight for their master. And from the pools of blood that formed from Asmodeus's wound, the demons began to rise up. Mo Bei has had enough of all those hideous skeletons, and he is outraged. And no wonder, because Asmodeus raised a huge number of fierce skeletons that closed Mo Bei's path for another attack. Since the instant kill chance didn't work, then Mo Bei decides to use something else. Maximizing his blades, he decides to get rid of all those skeletons first, and rushing at full speed, he tries to destroy all the skeletons, jumping from one to another. All these antics from the hero have already pissed off Asmodeus too much. He even calls Mo Bei a jumping bug. Asmodeus is fed up with waiting and decides to use a guise release. The appearance release reveals the most powerful and terrifying true form, without suppressing the enormous demonic power. The powerful violet-colored energy literally throws everyone around him off. Dawn Pioneers. Priestess SS ranked Elisa even let a tear fall as she turned around in the direction of Mo Bei and Asmodeus's battle. Had Mo Bei really decided to abandon her? Dawn Pioneers' SS rank warrior Andre thinks Mo Bei should keep fighting, and Andre, will definitely keep their promise. He tries to fight off the skeletons surrounding him. Dawn Pioneers assassin SS ranked Park Bucci also realizes that Mo Bei will not be able to survive, and so he mentally thanks him and promises him that he will lead humanity to peace. However, Asmodeus is furious because Mo Bei forced him to use his true form, so the guy is bound to die in battle. Mo Bei flies straight up into the sky towards the moon. He has gathered everyone's hope, and even if he dies, he swears that he will definitely drag Asmodeus to the underworld. Even the summoned moon begins to crack. Multiple attacks sprinkled from the sky on the Demon King's minions, taking them out of the way. Mo Bei tells Asmodeus that the humans will win this fight again, and Asmodeus will continue the circle of reincarnation with a chopping attack on the Demon King. He uses his stealth attacks again and again. Dark Moon Blade, Crescent Moon Slash. Dark Moon Blade, Piercing Moonlight. At the end of his life, Asmodeus finds Mobei interesting. This is Asmodeus's second reincarnation as an enemy of human heroes. But Mobei was to him the most fearless person he had ever met. And the soul-breaking rebirth of the king ability is used. Mobei used the Dark Moon Blade, Twilight Harvest. It is the strongest skill. When attacked, the enemy dies, but the player takes the same damage. The Demon King is very sorry. Park Buki blurts out in the last seconds that Mobei's sacrifice they will remember. He will never forget what Mobei did for humanity. Priestess Elisa can't believe what is happening now, and tears come to her eyes. However, Mobei doesn't understand why Asmodeus feels pity for him. To protect the people he cares about, Mobei is willing to give everything he has. He only hopes that as long as there is no Demon King, the others will be able to drive the demons out of their world. 5 years later, Blood River is the place where the Demon King is reborn. He has already been reborn twice with his memories intact. This is his third and final reincarnation with memories. This place is haunted by horned demons who have destroyed some regular humans. Horned demons are the most common and expendable. They are used as cannon fodder or food for the demon army. One of them informs the others to be careful, for the Hydra Lord's messenger said that the Demon King is about to be reborn. They can't let the evil fellow be reborn, or the marvelous race of humans will be destroyed. However, something marvelous began to appear behind the backs of the horned demons. A huge maw began to emerge from the purple slurry, and another eye could be seen in the center of the maw. The two didn't seem too happy. One didn't realize where he was, and the other didn't realize who the other was. One was wondering what Asmodeus was doing in his body, and the other wanted to die and asked him to give him his body back. The horned demons didn't wait for these two to finish their argument and pounced on the Demon King who had just appeared. As they run away, the guy doesn't realize what's going on, or if he's really been reborn. Asmodeus calls Mobei a disgusting human. He doesn't understand what kind of dirty methods Mobei used to be, reborn with Asmodeus. He is furious that some little bugs that can only be food have ambushed the site of his rebirth, so he decides to attack that food. Mobei, on the other hand, advises Asmodeus to face the truth. He is now the lowest of the low and can't even compare to the food he spoke of. Inferior demon, a minion of demons or a creature for venting anger. Asmodeus tells Mobei to shut up, as he is nothing but a pathetic, cowardly human rat. He tells him to give up control of his body and show Mobei why he became the ruler of the underworld. But Mobei refuses, as he'd rather take the risk than watch Asmodeus go to his death. Asmodeus also resists, because if he dies again, his memories will be erased. He'll have to start over as a low-ranking demon. Sooner or later, he will still take over the underworld and destroy everything. But Mobei won't have a second chance at rebirth. While they were talking, however, they got caught. Mobei notes that they have fallen into a magical trap. He advises Asmodeus to look around. Does Asmodeus really think he can survive the ambush of these demons after rebirth? Asmodeus's only chance is to survive and level up with Mobei. Mobei asks to give him control of his body, and then he will try to use magic to activate skills and fight back. Asmodeus decides to give up, though, because it seems humans are always clinging to life. He hopes Mobei won't disappoint him. Mobei seems to be able to use something. He notes that Asmodeus is right, for he has become greedy for life. But as long as he can restrain the Demon King, then he can protect humanity. To end this threat once and for all, he needs to seal the Demon King so he can't reincarnate. In the meantime, he decides to use the skill of going into the shadows. Stepping into the shadows, a unique skill of assassins, turns the player into a shadow, allowing him to disappear or escape. The horned demons are literally blinded by the glowing light of the purple aura. Mobei decides to retreat with Asmodeus for now. After that, he plans to return to the top and then seal the Demon King. 3 hours after escaping from the bloody river, they were still hiding from the Horned Ones who had not abandoned their search. The chief among the Horned Ones asks to find the Demon King. After all, if the Demon King escapes before the master eats the chief, he will eat all the others. Mobei lacks magic, so he had to shorten the distance of going into the shadows, but it's still not enough to escape from the search area. As the number of horned demons continues to increase, Mobei decided to follow the plan to reduce magic consumption and leave the search zone as quickly as possible. Asmodeus notes that although the humans are weak, their escape methods are impressive, to which Mobei parries that even though demons have tough skin, they are only low-ranked creatures. This angers Asmodeus. Is the human looking for death? With small steps and continuing to dodge, Mobe asks Asmodeus to conserve his strength, for they are still in danger for now. But the Demon King swears that the boy will pay for everything sooner or later. Mobe is overjoyed, for it's a blue moon. According to the expedition team's research, the blue moon is also called the awakened moon. When the blue moon rises, demons can act freely. But when the moon turns red, turning into the cruel moon, then the demons become restless and their power increases by at least 20%. Eventually, the red moon will turn into a yellow sleeping moon. At this point, demons hibernate and their strength drops dramatically. Weak demons are especially affected. According to Mobe's experience, each moon phase lasts 4 hours. One must be safe before the sleeping moon phase. Therefore, it leaves him with too little time. It looks like Mobe's assassin class and the game panel are still working. Mobe calls Asmodeus by name. However, Asmodeus orders Mobe to call him Great Master, and what a rude little man he is. Mobe ignores his words and asks where they can find supplies nearby because they have a maximum of 4 hours. The Demon King, on the other hand, asks to regain control of his body and he will then find the oasis on his own. Mobe is delighted with this news because Oasis will solve the problem of survival perfectly. Mobe refuses to give up control of his body. Then the Demon King tells him to go to hell. Moving slowly so as not to be noticed, the guy notes that hell is so-so. After climbing the mountain, Mobe notices that the oasis is quite far away and that even if nothing disturbs them, it will take 4 hours to get there. Asmodeus keeps bending his line, stating that the Blood River area is very dangerous, so let Mobe give up control of his body so he can find a safe place. They can still discuss the body control issue. However, the guy doesn't want to discuss anything. Outside the oasis, the sleeping moon phase had already been in effect for 2.5 hours, and the cruel moon had risen an hour and a half ago. They were unlucky enough to encounter a D-rank shadow prowler, who had an active shadow jump skill that allowed him to move freely between the shadow and the real world, and also had a passive skill, suffering in the shadows. In the shadows, Takis deal devastating damage. After encountering the monster, Mobe realized that it seemed like the expedition team's information was wrong, and the cruel moon had risen early. All the monsters had gotten excited because of the moon and were now blocking their way to the oasis. They were also caught by a rank D Hellbull, which had the skill, Gathering. While running, the Hellbull uses its horns to collect, reducing some of the direct damage it takes. It also had a passive skill, Herd. When there are more than 5 bulls, each additional bull increased stats by 10%. Seeing all these demons that had appeared in front of them, Asmodeus tells Mobe to immediately get his feet out of there. After all, even wounded, these demons can destroy the lower demons. Mobe manages to dodge the demon's attack using a jump. The jump allows you to continuously jump to avoid attacks or obstacles. Meanwhile, the demons pounce on each other. Mobe notices that it's a one-sided battle, which means it's useless to stay here, so they need to retreat. Asmodeus is tired and has no strength anymore, and he doesn't like to run away. Mobe is definitely the real champion of running away among humans. Elephant Shrew is the runaway winner in the animal world. Because of its small size, Elephant Shrew considers combat a terrible risk and focuses on escaping. Mobe, on the other hand, denies all these claims, for Asmodeus as an ingenuous demon does not know what hunting is. Asmodeus becomes furious and asks him not to be provoked. He swears that he will burn Mobe's soul in hellfire for 1,000 years. Guy asks the Demon King to be quiet and look at what's in front of them. The shadow leopards are behaving unusually. Are they really fleeing? Asmodeus tells the guy to run, for this is a panicked flight of infernal bulls. A lot of infernal bulls were running so that the shadow leopards could hardly escape them ahead of them. Asmodeus explains that the panicked flight of the infernal bulls is the talent of their race. Ordinary demons dare to stop them. Encountering such a phenomenon, you can only resign yourself to becoming a chop. However, Mobe does not despair even here, because danger is often linked to opportunity. Asmodeus doesn't understand what the guy wants to do. Then Mobe declares that the only purpose of the hunt is to kill the prey. Asmodeus is shocked to hear the guy make such a statement. Mobe keeps whispering that the strongest predators have the most patience, so you should circle with the enemy, wait for the right moment, and then deal with the enemy. The main thing in this case is not to hurry. He managed to dodge the pack without getting killed. This even changes Asmodeus's opinion of this pathetic little man. When they look at the map, Asmodeus tells the guy to collect the oasis fruit, then go to the specified place on the map. There's a way to level up quickly. Mobe even wonders why Asmodeus is so calm. The Demon King only notes that it's a trick of the god of light. They need to act faster, for he senses that the moon phase is about to change. However, Mobe is against it, for it's time to capitalize on the situation since there's such prey nearby. For Mobe, it is crucial to strike the fatal blow while the enemy is fighting, and this is the last step to enjoying the fruits of victory. For Asmodeus, on the other hand, such treachery of men is truly endless. Mobe confirms that it has no end. The system reports that he killed the infernal bull and received 1,314,520 experience for it. Current level E. The system also reports that his teammates have shared the experience with him. A new skill was also unlocked for him. While they were getting updates, the shadow leopards have already managed to surround them. Asmodeus asks to leave this fight to him, even though the guy is adjusting quite well. However, Mobe points out that even though this body is ugly, it's smaller and lighter than a human body, which means it's the perfect opportunity to test it out, along with his new skills. Asmodeus thinks the guy has definitely lost his mind. At the same time, one of the shadow leopards let out a powerful roar. However, using the perception of malice, Mobe manages to dodge such a sharp attack, and then use his favorite technique, the backstab. He notices that the backstab works fine. The shadow leopard has received crushing damage. While dodging another attack, he tested free step as well. This ability also worked well. Then he concluded that all the new skills didn't change because of the new body. As long as he had enough experience, then he would be able to return to peak form again. After playing around and making sure his abilities were working properly, Mobe finally decides to take on the monsters. He uses perception, free step, and attacks the monsters. He then uses decay. This skill also works fine. He also uses faithful death. Sacrifice 20% health to greatly increase attack power. One kill has. Asmodeus is like an observer, advising him to find a weak spot and strike a killing blow, quickly and decisively. He notices that the monsters are retreating and that it looks like Mobe was able to scare them. He tells Mobe to move forward faster while the monsters are scared, as Mobe used his health to increase his attack power. Especially the sleeping moon should be about to rise. Mobe, on the other hand, thinks that retreating now will only provoke the monsters, so they only have one choice. The guy decides not to run anywhere and attack the monsters head-on. Asmodeus is not happy and thinks the guy is an idiot because there is only 40% health left and the sleeping moon is approaching. Mobe doesn't understand because the cruel moon phase lasts an hour and a half, so they should have another half hour to spare. Asmodeus corrects him that the hell moon has no definite time or regularity, so he tells Mobe to take his feet away. However, as if sensing the guy's weakness and confusion, one of the shadow leopards came behind his back and was about to attack the guy. Mobe still didn't understand what it meant that there was no definite time. He had noticed the attack and he needed to avoid this attack or else they might die. However, the shadow leopard's strike still caught up with its target. Mobe was a little surprised at this turn of events. After all, he was not dead and his body seemed to have recovered a little, and the pain was neutralized by the effect of the sleeping moon. However, he could no longer use the sacrifice skill. Bleeding out, he noticed that someone had come to his aid. The system reported that a member of his team had shared his new skill with him. It is, of course, Asmodeus, who notices that people always die faster because of their arrogance. He tells Mobe to use the skills he gave him, as the Demon King doesn't want to die from inferior demons. Looking at the new skill, Mobe was surprised that he got demonic evolution. Asmodeus notices that the experience from the recent kill is enough to use this skill. Demonic evolution can heal wounds and increase resistance to the sleeping moon after turning into a horned demon. Asmodeus asks Mobe to act faster. After all, if Asmodeus dies, he will lose all his memories and still be resurrected, but Mobe is unlikely to be so lucky. So let Mobe press the button, because then Asmodeus will regain his body and his power, and Mobe will die. And that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you would like to see a sequel, please like, subscribe to the channel, and leave your wishes in the comments. You can also subscribe to Telegram to know about new videos. Bye everybody.